What's up, guys? It is Sunday, October 13th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 865,546. TikTok, next block. It is a Sunday night here in beautiful Las Vegas at 8:24 p.m. Pacific time. And this week is going to be crazy, man. Real quick, so Bitcoin's price is still in that little target range, 62, 62.8, 62.7 or whatever. So if I were you, I'd study it, get you some, and before it just rockets into space, man. You know what I mean? If you want to get some good exchanges, I have some in the links below. And if you want to support the channel, links below. So real quick, this is what I want you guys to get ready for this week. The propaganda media is desperate right now. They are desperate. They are coming up with stories that are just unbelievable. Lying about Donald Trump and everything else, man. And they are just, man. But we have a civil war going on with the Democratic Party with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, which I will talk about here in this week. But basically, Joe Biden does not like Kamala because basically she called Joe Biden a racist, and the coup they pulled on Joe Biden and everything else. And then they're also because Joe Biden is not going along with the plan. He didn't want to step down. He didn't, and Joe Biden is controlling him, in my personal opinion. And also Kamala Harris is she's a puppet, and she's a liar, and she's fake, and she's just not talented, right? So they want her to go out here and be somebody that she's not. She screwed up, man, when she was on The View, trying to pretend like she knew what she was doing off script. Because again, when she's off script, she's horrendous. She went off script, and they asked her a simple question. Again, she's been doing this for over 100 days. Asked her a simple question: what's the difference between you and Joe Biden, or what are you going to do different than Joe Biden? And of course, she went into a word salad the first time Sonny Holston asked, and then Sonny Holston gave a follow-up question, same thing, and she said, I don't know, there's nothing I'd really do anything different. And they're mad about that, Kamala Harris's team, because she's not supposed to do that. She's supposed to separate herself. See, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place in two ways. The first way is she's not talented, right? So in the beginning, all they did was put her out there in on a teleprompter acting and stuff like that, and basically ran a basement campaign like Joe Biden, except she actually went out and she didn't do any interviews or anything like that. You guys remember that? And she just did some scripted stuff and didn't do any interviews on main networks or anything like that. And then she screwed up, right? So she's caught between a rock and a hard place, because if she goes out and talks to people and she's actually doing stuff off the script, she's gonna screw up. If she doesn't do anything, and she hides in the basement, everybody's like, what's up? Because again, the Democratic Party thinks their constituents are stupid, and most of them are, because they're sorry, they're brainwashed, man. They live in a bubble. A lot of these people. I'm arguing with these people on Facebook all the time, and they're just in a left-wing media bubble. But the problem is, there's a lot of people that are not living out of that, in that bubble, and a lot of people that are leaving that bubble. The second thing she's stuck between a rock and a hard place is she's pretending like she's not attached to Joe Biden, but at the same time, she's the vice president. So either you're attached to him or not. If she says she's not attached to him, then she has to admit that Joe Biden did bad, which means she lied for the last 3 3/4 years, saying that it was good. Remember that? But if she says she is attached to him, then she has to be attached to one of the worst presidents since President Buchanan. And probably the worst one, who knows? So she's stuck all over the place. Again, she doesn't have it, man. Like, for instance, I'm not a good actor, right? If somebody asks me to play a role or something like that, that's just something I can't do. I don't have good memories. I can't do that kind of thing. I'm not talented like that. So if they ask me to go play this character and memorize these lines, it's going to come out not authentic and everything else. And I've said this before in other videos, that when you're pretending to be someone else, and it's not like they can say cut or let's do this again or start all over. She's a lot of times she's live, except on 60 Minutes when they edited the hell out of it. She comes off fake because she is fake. She's pretending to be someone else, ladies and gentlemen. She's pretending to be this moderate. She's pretending to be smart. She's pretending to be this smooth politician, the female version of Barack Obama. She's trying to be somebody that she's not, and that's why she becomes or comes off as unauthentic. And a lot of people are waking up. And it's funny that you see these race hustlers out here, these black race hustlers, talking about, does it seem like everything the Democrats say about Donald Trump, it's like they're projecting, and it's the opposite. Like, for instance, I'm listening to a lot of these race hustlers. And again, I don't live in a bubble. I listen to all angles, right? I grew up a Democrat, man. I know. Grew up in New York State. And they're saying that Donald Trump is going to treat you like a slave, and he's the master, and he's going to do this and do that and all these different things. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Joe Biden told me I'm not black if I don't vote for him. I'm getting a tongue wet lashing from Barack Obama saying if I don't vote Democrat or Kamala Harris, that's bad. Again, I thought this party was the party of democracy. I mean, again, she don't have it, Barack Obama. And a lot of people, and again, I was one of the dudes that voted for you, and I was all proud of it the first time. People are starting to see this shit, man. And now it's dwindling down. It's like high 70s, 78, 79% of black people are going to vote. I think it may be less than that, man. Usually they get a 90 plus, 92, 95% clip that black people vote for Barack Obama and these idiots. But now people are just like, you know what? It's crazy. Now it's going to take a couple cycles to get it down to 50%. But again, the mainstream media lies so much. Like, for instance, I see J.D. Vance on ABC today, and the moderator, who's the Democrat propagandist, obviously, is trying to pinpoint the lies that Donald Trump is saying about the immigrants, which they've been doing all week, the mainstream media. And instead of actually focusing on the immigrants and what they're doing to our American citizens, they're focusing on, oh, Trump said it's all the immigrants that are, I mean, all, you know, immigrants are taking over all the city, the whole city. It's not that bad. It's only this and only that. I'm sitting there going, these people are so stupid. They fall for it every time. But he's setting a trap for them. All he has to do, all Trump has to do, because they're Trump deranged, all Trump has to do is say something like, hey, they're eating dogs out there. Because again, they won't, these Democratic propagandists will never bring up, you know, what's going on with the migration until Trump says something that's a quote unquote lie or far-fetched and stuff. And maybe he does exaggerate. Maybe he does lie about eating dogs and cats. I don't know. But what happens is when they start talking about it and getting obsessed with trying to prove the man wrong, guess what happens? People start coming in and looking and going, wait a minute, maybe they didn't eat dogs, but in this little town of Springfield, Ohio, there's only 58,000 residents and 20,000 are Haitians, and they're not really legal. You keep saying they're legal, but J.D. Vance says this kind of thing, that how they got in, and we're looking it up, and that's true. And again, because they're Trump deranged syndrome, the mainstream media, they're falling for it. But again, if you live in that left-wing propaganda media bubble, you're not going to believe it. So, hey, listen, man, the Trump, I told you this a few months ago, the Trump derangement syndrome is going to be like we've never seen before. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, listen, despite all that, get your friends out there, get them registered, have them vote for Donald Trump. Also, get your friends registered into one of my apps down here so they can start buying the hardest money in the world. Get some free money, get some free, the hardest money in the world, and make sure you're stacking it so you can stop the tyranny of this regime and also stop inflation. And I think you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.